You must agree with me that all those many reports we used to have about security breaches in the FCT has indeed reduced. Well, the FCT minister has been doing a lot about it. The FCT minister and his team, I think it's safe to say the FCT minister and his team has been doing a lot about it. And today we'll be getting into the reforms that are being introduced to ensure that we curb and mitigate security breaches like the ones we experienced some time ago. What has been done, what is going on at the moment that is helping. Recently, we also read about the Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesumwike, presenting 50 operational vehicles fitted with communication gadgets to security agencies to strengthen the fight against insecurity in the FCT. And yet people are asking, what about the abandoned CCTVs that about 10 years ago we started conversation about? I mean, it was even installed. Do we have that? There's several things we would have to discuss on today's edition of Joy Asonye Live. So I say welcome. In the studio to do justice to this is an urban security strategist and also the Secretary Command and Control Center FCTA, Dr. Peter Olumuji. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Nice having me this evening.
Yes, it's always wonderful to have you. I mean, when you talk security, it comes from a place of passion. So it's always very refreshing to hear you talk about all the things you're doing in the FCT.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll go for a short break to return to get into the conversation. How can you too be part of this work to ensure that it collaborates with what's being done? Well, we'll be right back to discuss more. That was quite a short break. Welcome. Now we are getting into the conversation. Like I said earlier, Dr. Peter Olumuji, an urban security strategist and a Secretary Command and Control Center FCTA, is right here in the studio. I mean, he's been championing, for some who have been following the news, very often we see him when it comes to security breaches and security advocacy and all that. We hear and see him a lot. So it's a big deal to finally have you here. First of all, what has been going on? I know the last time we had you here was when we had that rife one chance situation in the FCT, and some part of the FCT was beginning to be very prone to kidnapping and several criminal violations and all that. So what has happened from that time to now?
Well, once again, I want to appreciate Kaftan TV for having me this evening, and I also want us to know that a lot of things, a lot of development have taken place from that time to this time, and our viewers and residents of the FCT could vividly attest to the success story. And the minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesumwike, is a man that is passionate about seeing that the resident of the capital city enjoys what we call watertight security network, and he has always been an advocate of good security. And you know that the constitution also emphasized that one of the primary objectives of governance is security and the welfare of the people. And without good security, you cannot even talk about welfare of the people. Exactly. Because it is people that are secured and safe that can even enjoy the good thing you have for them. And so, under the New Hope agenda of Mr. President, which the Minister of the Federal Capital is running with, he has always been advocating that the security architecture of the Federal Capital Territory must change to bringing about safety and better security for the residents. And a lot of things have changed over the few months that he has taken over the realm of affairs as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Now, with his very, of course, noble reforms, a lot of people also find him not friendly to MSMEs and those who might want to hawk. Some of us have been so used to buying from the roadside street sellers and all of that. And some who criticize him would say that, I mean, instead of pushing them away, like he sometimes pronounces, how about an option for those people who sell? What's being done about that part?
Yeah, I don't think he's antagonistic on the SMSE like you mentioned, but rather what he has tried to do is to even organize them better. Let me give you a practical example. You remember Area 1 where you have the Kilishi sellers at Area 1 shopping center. When we went in there to clean up the place because of the messy situation and threats to lives and property sometime last year, people really were castigating the administration.
Also,
I understand.
Because it's the easiest place to get all sorts of kilishi.
In fact, I'm a fan of kilishi myself, but when we went there to carry out that cleanup and to sanitize that particular environment, people were condemning the administration. But at the long run, if you go to Area 1 neighborhood center today, where the kilishi sellers are, you can see a well-organized setting that endears even both the sellers and the buyer to the administration. So the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory is not against small-scale business people. What is against is indiscipline that we can see, that most of these people you just sell indiscriminately in traffic and the rest. It is not befitting of a capital city like FCT. These are things that you can't see other places. Abuja is the eye of the nation. Anybody coming into the city wants to see a well-planned, a clean environment. But you realize that you see people selling all these hawkers, hawking indiscriminately, and by doing that, they dirty the environment, and also these criminal elements use that platform to engage in criminal activity. But what we have done so far, from the Area 1 Kilishi spot to Vladimir roundabout, which you can see is particularly going to Kabusa Junction, where those food sellers are well organized, and so many other places that I will not be able to mention here. It shows that the administration is in support of small-scale business owners, but they need to just be organized and trade in accordance to the rule of the land.
So what would you say, how would you, if you have to appraise the efforts, the security efforts you've been doing when it comes to information sharing? Because, I mean, when you look at how FCT is, a lot of us just live in high fences, and I don't know if we are that communal when it comes to sharing information. I saw somebody I do not recognize, I saw this vehicle, I saw this. Where would you say we are in the FCT when it comes to information gathering and sharing?
Yes, before now, I could say there's a vacuum before now. But over the time that we have sustained the advocacy of people getting, being part of the security system, because one mistake we do is that we always want to depend on the security agencies alone for better security network. But there's no way the security agencies can do it alone. Why do I say that? They are not spirits. They are not everywhere at the same time. But every one of us that reside in one locality or the other know people within our neighborhood and the rest. So what we have tried to do over the few months is to create that awareness for the citizen. We call it citizen engagement, engaging with the resident of FCT through the FCT citizen engagement platform. And the residents have now got to understand what the government is passing on to them. Part of the success story you see today in terms of security and safety in FCT is because the residents of FCT are part of the security architecture now. they now believe in it, because we always tell you, if you see something, say something. And I know the Commissioner of Police, FCT, always re-emphasize at every forum that when you see something and you say something, the security agency will be able to do something. But if you do not say something, how will the security agencies do something? You understand? You see more than them. And that's why we have encouraged people using the police hotline numbers, which we've been rolling out. We've encouraged people to use also the FCT call center number, and also the other platforms, social media platform. And this has greatly helped the security agencies to get real time. There's a difference between you passing real-time and actionable information intelligence than you just saying it after the act has been done, you know. And I always encourage people, these emergency numbers, save it on your emergency keypad. Right. And so many people are listening to that, been doing that. So now when you see something, they are calling the police control room number and reporting incidences, reporting emergencies. If they are not doing that, they are calling the FCT call center number, reporting incident, criminal act, reporting emergencies. And that has also really helped the entire government security structure, architecture in FCT to be more proactive, because the more you get this feedback, the more it helps you to respond to such threats to lives and property. And that's why the citizen of FCT, we must commend them. They've been doing very, very well in sharing timely and real-time information to the security agencies, and want to also encourage them to do more. And those of you that still have doubt on the ability of the security agency, things are changing. FCT is not the FCT of yesterday. Today, you can work fully without fear. We've noticed on the social media platforms, some people will just come up and do some short clips and start saying things they don't know about the security architecture of the FCT, trying to create apprehension and panic in the heart of residents. Whereas those even residing in FCT knows that what this person is saying is not true. Yes, it might be happening some few years back, but it's not happening now. The police commissioner we have, CP Ben Ibrahim, that you have now, is a man that leads the battle. He leads the battle. He does not sit in his office both day and night. And all this success story is because the residents are sharing real-time information. As they sitting, as they suspecting, they call the relevant emergency numbers. And the security agencies also are able to respond timely.
Speaking about security agencies and their response, we've also had critics who say that it seems like the architecture is very active in the city center, and when you come to other area councils, Gwagwalada, Buhari and all of that, it is not as responsive or quick or expedient when they get these calls. Is it something or a complaint you've also received, and how are you addressing that?
No, you know when you are not residing in a particular locality, you cannot know the efforts of the security agency in such. Most of these people that try to raise issues where there is no issue, they just do it because they do not understand what is happening at the various area councils. I must tell you that when the Commissioner of Police took over the monitor of leadership, he started a particular operation Red Velvet. Now the next operation is on now, that is actively on, is called Operation Dominate the Fringes. What is Operation Dominate the Fringes? Operation Dominate the Fringes is looking at security of the border communities. One thing that works negatively for FCT in terms of security, that FCT is bordered is very porous. That is one. No, FCT is not porous, but it's bordered with mountainous areas and bushy parts. You know,
that makes security porous.
Yeah, which makes it difficult for some responses. And you should know that there's pressure on this criminal element from the northeast axis and the rest.
Exactly.
And you know, FCT is bordered with Nasarawa, with Niger, with Kaduna, with Kogi, with and this criminal element wants to come into the FCT to carry out the nefarious activity. But what the FCT police command and other sister agencies have been doing now is to ensure, based on this new operation of dominating the fringes, going into these border communities, going into these mountainous areas, to carrying the battle to them. And I must tell you, because not every success story you see that we say out.
So you should see this success story. It will give some of us some level of confidence.
I'm going to be telling you some of it, but again, there are some that I will not come out here to talk about because other investigations are going on based on the suspect that have been apprehended. But I must tell you, the Commissioner of Police and his team, they don't sleep in the night time. They go to all these border communities. Now they even go into Kaduna State, the bush is there, Kajuru Forest, go into Chikara in Kogi State, go into Nasarawa, go into Niger, because now they are taking the battle to the base of these criminals, and that has brought about arrest of a lot of kidnapped suspects, a lot of bandits that you will not expect that they could be arrested. Before now, people see bandits and kidnappers as invisible. But the FCT police commissioner has made us to realize that these people are not invisible beings. They are not spirits. They are human beings like us. And you should know that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, after going through some intelligence report and reviewing it with the FCT security committee, they got to understand that these criminal elements, they operate in these mountainous areas and bush paths using motorcycles. You understand? And the only way you could meet up that and counter them is for you to have it. So the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory had to purchase and distribute these motorbikes also to police personnel and also the area councils. And I must commend the effort of the vigilantes and the hunters because they played a good complementary role to the government security forces in terms of fight against banditry and kidnapping. You know, most of these kidnappers, one thing that you should also know that I want our people to know that in the FCT, we do not have any bandit camp in the FCT. And you are sure of this? Very, very sure. Because we know what is going on. We don't have any bandit camp. What they do now is that because they are in this neighboring state, what the command to have started doing now is to go into those places to dismantle those and destroy those camps. Now the criminal elements have no hiding place. They are now running for their dear life. But what's the collaboration like with the, I mean, I know the committee had this enlarged committee with bordering states. I know the G7. The G7, that's what it was called. How is that? You know, for you to go into other states to operate, you should know that there's a great collaboration and synergy. You understand? And you should know, one thing we should also take note is that FCT is the eye of the nation. It is. If FCT sneezes, everybody catches cold. You understand? And this is the seat of government. This is where you have our president. This is where you have the highest level of the judiciary. This is where you have the National Assembly. So there is no way you could toy with the security network of the federal capital. And those in the security circle are ensuring that things are done rightly. And just like I said, a lot of success stories have been recorded. There is not all the stories you can come out to roll out, so that it's not jeopardize some ongoing investigation of suspects. Something happened some few weeks ago at Kagini. Some kidnappers went in there, and in the process of kidnapping one or two residents, they killed one or two residents there. But you know that within 1 week, these suspects were apprehended. We read about that. So that is just one out of so many. One out of so many. But again, I want to also state here, one basic challenge we have is the issue of informants. Informants within the various communities. People always talk about the government is not doing much for the local government and area councils, but you can see the effort of the security agencies already. So security is not focused on the city center. Security is also what is happening in the city center is also happening at the fringes, and not just at the fringes, but taking the battle to them, to their base. Now you have from the list of suspects that have been arrested over the months, we've gathered with credible intelligence that a lot of these people come in because they are informants within the localities, and that is where it now comes back to we, the residents.
Responsibility.
Yes, the citizen responsibility, because when you have an informant within your locality, for example, and let me use for example, you have an informant within Gagaraga, and that informant is residing close to somebody, and you know that this person does not have anything substantive he's doing as occupation, but you could see the progress he's making in terms of economic value.
Right.
You should be able to ask questions.
In this era of mind your business, how do you ask those questions?
That is the problem we have. Now, we talked about good security in the Western worlds. But how do they achieve this good security? Each neighbor, when they see something, they say something. They don't keep to themselves, even though we see them keeping to themselves, but they know that they have a responsibility to play. You understand? And that is why I want us to start running with this slogan that the banks use, KYC, know your customers. Now in the FCT, what we are preaching now is know your neighbor. You understand? That's KYN, know your neighbor.
Right.
For those listening to us right now, do you know the neighbors residing by your left-hand flat, or the person residing by your right-hand flat, or the person you are staying in that block of flats or that estate? It is time to start to know your neighbors. KYN. When you do that, you begin to understand that, oh, this person does not have any occupation. How did you get this? There's a way you pass your information discreetly to the law enforcement, and they will carry out discreet investigation on such a person. You understand? Again, we want to also let you know, before you engage your domestic staffs, your security guard with your guards, your cooks, your drivers, you must be able to profile them. It's not saying that, oh, I'm in need of a nanny, and you just call somebody, please can you get me a nanny, and they send somebody to you, or a cook, or a security guard, and you do not profile the person, you don't have any information about such a person. Such a person can be an active informant in your house. Such a person can even be a part of a criminal gang.
Let me share a small story. This happened to me personally, and I would like you to address it and tell me what I should have done better. Now, I used to have a small fashion outfit, and I needed tailors. So I got one gentleman. I had three. One gentleman came. I was like, oh, he sews very well. I tried him. He did sew very well, and I wanted to vet him, but I didn't know where to go. So I went to the nearest police station, who seemed very surprised that I was doing that in the first place. Why are you bringing him here? Did he steal? I said, no, sir. Did he do anything? I just want to know him. He claims he just got into Abuja and does not have guarantors, which was the prerequisite for other staff.
Yes.
And he said he didn't have. And when I got there, I insisted, he gave the police people information, and a couple of weeks after, he left with everything I owned in that place.
Wow.
Now that's just me, and yet I got back to the police station to say, well, I had a bad feeling about this gentleman. That profile, that vetting document where he had to state his state of origin and all this information, and we even had he photocopied an ID card, a national ID card, I think. All that information was wrong. So how can one properly vet? I hear this all the time when you say your domestic staff vet them, but how can we effectively do that?
You know the scenario you just painted. That happened to you. I'm surprised, because when you talk about profiling of your domestic staff that you're engaging, that is under the purview of the police division within that your locality.
Right.
And you have taken the right step by going there. But I don't really know what went wrong, that a thorough profiling was not carried out, and they allow such a person to, I believe you would have raised it up with the police high command, because they would have been able to further look into that. But again, want to also let our people know, our listeners, our viewers this evening, that when you have all these domestic staffs coming in, we want to engage them. The first step is to profile them, and those saddled with that responsibility of profiling them is the police division within that locality, which you did accordingly. Secondly, you could ask for the social media handle of such a person, the Facebook. If the person has an active Facebook page, if the person has an Instagram, X handle, or any other social media page, you get it from, because most of these people are online on social medias. When you get it, before engaging them, you can say, let me be a friend, just say it, even though now they are hearing and saying, but there is no way you will not pick one or two things from that particular place. Because so the social media platform has created a better way of profiling somebody also.
Oh really?
Yes, because most people share details about their background, about their family, about their lifestyle, about their online. And except those who are deep into criminality, that you see that they don't want to have any social media handle, because they know why. So if you even have such a person and you have a Facebook page, do you have a Twitter handle, say no, do you have an Instagram, or you just know something is wrong.
Right.
You understand? Something is not just right. You understand? So you just know that this is a red flag that you must. Your intuition will always tell you. It always tells you. And that is them. Then thirdly, somebody that is bringing such a domestic person staff to you, you should be able to ask questions. You know, everybody will expect that everybody residing in Nigeria today should have registered, done their name registration,
right? And
every name number. Because if you want to engage a driver, a cook, a nanny, ask them for their name number. That name number contains details about them also. Are you getting me? It contains details about them. And that can also help you. If somebody is coming and say, I don't have a name number, then you should know that's another red flag. So you have various ways of profiling.
Right.
Then it is not left for you, before you fully engage such a person, to not take a final decision. Is that yes?
But we need to be very security conscious.
That is it. But again, you should also know that when you interact with them as they work for you, some people are so hard on their domestic staff that
they don't get that interaction.
They don't have any interaction with them. And maybe that is when these domestic staff are planning something nefarious against their employer. So you must also know that you must be careful as you relate with them.
Right.
The world we are in now, you can't just leave your guard open. Down. You can't. You must suspect everything. It's better for you to suspect everything than for you to believe everything.
Exactly, and then become susceptible. We still have so much to discuss. However, it's time to go for a very short break. When we return, we'll get into why the FCT minister decided to donate operational security vehicles. We'll also talk about the CCTV. I mean, if we want the metropolis to be the metropolis, we should get technologically savvy. We'll be right back after this.
Of the day. Unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
Nigeria are living in up to 5%. A young way because the harmony symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7. national, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
Kaftan
p.m.
TV News.
FCT seems poised to combat insecurity and crime, and that showed when the FCT minister donated about 50 operational security vehicles to agencies to strengthen the fight against insecurity in the territory. Dr. Olumuji Peter is still right here with us. He's an urban security strategist and also the Secretary Command and Control Center, FCTA. So let's talk about the reason behind the donation of the 50 security operational vehicles.
Yes, there's no way you can talk about good security network combating crime without two variables. Number one, mobility. Number two, communication. And that is what the FCT minister have just done. By donating these operational vehicles to the security agencies and equipping it with a very effective communication gadget,
right.
He has been able to solve that aspect. And now, the ball now is in the court of the security agencies to ensuring that they utilize it effectively. Now, you should also take note that most people complain about bad roads in the fringes, in the localities and the rest. There's no way security can respond effectively when the roads are no good.
True.
And that takes me now down to what the FCT minister is doing in terms of infrastructural development, creating good road network in various area councils in the FCT that we have not seen for a while now. I remember some few weeks ago we were at Kwale to launch to commission the Kwale bridge that links into the Kwale township, which is almost how many kilometers? I've forgotten that now. Then another one that was just done some few days ago, Kweta Yebu Road groundbreaking for construction over 3-something kilometers or more than that. All these things are preludes to effective security. And you should take note, early this year the minister went around the various area councils, holding town hall meeting with the people in each of the area council, and they told the chairman that choose two roads that is very dear to each of the area council, so that this road can be constructed as part of the phase 1 of the general road construction at the various area councils. Because we have also seen on social media where people say, the minister is just focusing on the city center, is not doing anything at the local government. You as a media practitioner and as a journalist, you can go to those area councils and you see the wonderful job that is going on there. Now, what is the advantage of this? Number one, it helps response time of the security agency when there's an emergency. That's number one. Number two, it improves the economic situation of such a place. And people say, the FCT administration does not care about the economic situation of people. People are being thrown out of job. But do you know one thing? Just last week, the FCT minister commissioned flag off the bus terminus, one at Mabuchi, and the other one at Kubu, for safe commuting of FCT residents. Now, when you have such thing with good road and everything is going on well, when there's a need to respond to emergencies, it makes it very easy, you understand, for the security agencies to respond or for the emergency agencies to go in there. Now, we are not talking about safe commuting within the FCT. The purpose in which these bus terminuses are being created is that to stop this proliferation of unpainted taxis everywhere.
Exactly.
That people fall victim of one chance, even though we don't have anything like one chance in our law. You know, it is armed robbery. When you indulge in one chance activity, you have become an armed robber. That is what is contained in the law of the land. You know, we operate in the penal code in Abuja and the entire north. And this has also created employment opportunity, because these constructions that are doing, either road construction or bus terminuses, people are being engaged, they are being employed to work there. And I remember vividly one statement the minister said to the contractor, said, you must ensure that 50% of the workforce come from those localities. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Come from those localities. So it's also creating employment opportunity for the teeming youth within that environment. And you know, as we are getting that right, it starts to reduce the incidences of the youth going into criminal activities. And that is one thing. So donating those vehicles fitted with good communications aids the security personnel to respond to emergencies, or anytime there's a call that there's something going on wrong. You understand? They're able to move swiftly and they are responding to it.
That is a very wonderful one. But let's take the conversation to CCTV. Okay. That's another way of combating crime and all that. And then kudos to the FCT minister. I mean, we've seen the reforms, we've seen the projects that are being done. I, as a journalist, drive really, sometimes late, having to drive late coming from reports and all of that. And I must tell you, the FCT, the area where I stay is very safe, and I've been driving very seamlessly. However, each time I drive past such areas, I keep wondering, do we have CCTV? I'm not saying a crime should be committed, but should one be committed, can we have that technological aid where there's a CCTV camera that shows you what has happened, maybe face recognition? Every other person in the world is doing it, why can't we join in? And what are we doing to harmonize our data so that if the face is indeed recognized, you can actually quickly know who did what with biometrics? So where are we, combining technology to combat crime in the FCT?
Yes, in the FCT, there's some CCTV that were installed some time ago. About
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and people thought it was the FCT administrator that did that. That was not under the FCT administration. A lot of debates are still on up to tomorrow that the FCT administration failed by installing those public CCTV everywhere. It was never under the purview of the FCT administration. I can tell you with a fact. Now coming to the use of technology, which will focus on CCTV. In the FCT, we expect there is a law that every public facility, every public building, either a business building or production building, must have the owners must install an active CCTV camera.
Right.
Both in and out with the perimeter of such facility. Aside that, we also encourage residents in their various residential places to also install an active CCTV. When you are investigating crime in this modern world, the use of technology is one of it. It helps better. Now, when you have CCTV installed either in the public domain or in your residential places, if there's any crime being committed within that locality,
right,
even if the criminals are able to leave that place, you could link one CCTV location to the other and track them accordingly.
Exactly.
But what do we see today? Everybody feel is the government that is supposed to install such, but it is no. It is no. If you own a hotel or a business premises or anything that is public, you are meant to have it. Government have theirs that they are installing already, especially on this our traffic lights and the rest.
Right.
We have CCTV that's
just for traffic violations, is it?
Not only for traffic violation, you cannot use it only for traffic violation. It's also used for any other incidents, especially when a crime is being committed. Because the vehicle that passes through that place is going to another location, and you can link that and even get the plate number and the rest. How many of us in our residential abode have active CCTV camera installed? You don't expect the government to come and install for you.
Is there subsidy for it? It's quite expensive.
No. CCTV is in grades.
Right. It doesn't have to be the high definition. Right.
And you know, one good thing is that when you have this CCTV, even on your mobile phones, you can observe whatever is going on within your environment.
That's true.
No matter where you are in the world. So it's good for you to connect it to the internet, and you can monitor what is going on within your home. And again, we want to also encourage that for those that don't have children at home, and you have your houseboy, your domestic staff, maybe your gardener and the rest, you can use that also to monitor them, monitor their movement. If you see them going out of your home when you are not there, and is picking, you are taking one of your child and is strolling out, you should be able to call this guy. This person I do not authorize that. But most of us don't even know that
we can do that. Yes.
You understand? So we encourage both public business owners and residential homes to install CCTV. There is a committee that was set up by the FCT administration. They submitted their report, and there's going to be effective monitoring on that very soon.
Well, monitoring, yes, on residents,
both residents and business places, because you cannot just want the government to do everything for you. We must play our part as part of the resident of the FCT. Government cannot do everything for us. We should take note of that. Government cannot achieve everything for us, but those little things, responsibility we pick up and take, contribute and complement the effort of government.
I agree with you, but so what? You now capture this person on CCTV. What happens after that? Sometimes we even have the person's biodata, but because the person must have moved to another state, or maybe it seems the trail really ends there. What are we doing to harmonize technology in all of this? Because I also have a situation where a friend's phone was taken in a store, and she was purchasing something, and we could see in the CCTV showed how somebody picked the phone from her bag. The face was showing, but after that, what? We couldn't tell who that person is.
No, you know, when you talk about CCTV, like I made mention, we have various grades. There are some that you are zooming the face, you're getting blur. You can't tell. And there are some that the more you zoom, the more you see it very clear. You remember in those early days when ATM were installed, this machine were installed in the various banks, and when somebody has compromised your account, and I use my ATM card, and you go to the bank, they have they print out pictures that you cannot even remember. You cannot even tell. You can't tell yourself out of what it is. Then you have various grades of CCTV. That's why when you are going to purchase this CCTV, also consult experts, so that they can advise you. Because consulting expert does not mean they will give you the one that is as very, very expensive. No. But they can tell you, okay, this grade can do this, but this is the amount. You can do that, you understand.
The definition.
Again, we should also know that when we are talking about data management, we are talking about the entirety of the nation now.
Right.
And I know the federal government is working very hard to bring in our data.
It seems beyond us, and I keep telling
it's not beyond us.
Okay, how are the banks, how are other institutions able to do that? The financial institutions, for instance, if I take an ATM and withdraw money here, all over the world it will show that money has been withdrawn. And in fact, in some ATMs you would even see how I withdrew it, who withdrew it. But it seems like when it comes to federal government, we are finding it difficult to even know the population population of our country. We're finding it difficult. We don't know. We don't have data for a lot of
But
things.
one thing I know is that we have all available data. We cannot say we don't have data. We have data, but it's harmonizing our data that the federal government is working on now. The name, the name, the bank and when we harmonize it, we are coming. And I thought I had the Minister of Interior even talked about
harmonization. Sovereignty. That's why you know
under the Renew Hope agenda, right? A lot of things they are getting it right now. And if the Minister of Interior have said that, I know they are working behind the scenes to ensuring that all this data are harmonized effectively.
Now, do we have periodic security tips that are offered? I remember during that One Chance saga when it was all over in social media.
Yes.
Maybe because I was privy to you, I know you were churning out tips all the time. But is it not time that the FCT has a more coordinated way of ensuring people actually protect themselves as criminals become dynamic in their activities? And I know that you are just keeping in touch and keeping abreast with what's going on. Okay. How can we have a coordinated structure that people have this information firsthand to also protect themselves?
Part of what the administration is doing is what we are doing now. Creating that awareness to the residents of the FCT and also engaging. Most people that are watching us right now must have picked one or two tips from our general discussion this evening. That is number one. We also have the FCT Citizen Engagement Platform, which is www.myfcta.gov.
Yes, I have that.
Good. And I expect that we can scroll it so that those that can't even get it can see it. If your station can scroll it for us,
right,
you know, that also help. That's my FCTA www.myfcta.gov.
Yes, my FCTA.gov.
Yes,
I'm sure
they can scroll on it. You know, that is another way in which we could, because on the FCT Citizen Engagement Platform, a lot of issues, a lot of information are churned out there, and a lot of residents have keyed in on that platform and they are getting updates. Then we also encourage every one of us residing in FCT or any other place we reside that they let me focus on FCT and we can use it in any other place we are residing. Go get the police hot number. No, it's www.myfcta.gov.
myfcta.gov.
Yes, myfcta.gov, not
right.
.com. You can understand. You can get the police hotline numbers in the FCT. We have been rolling it out, which we also do here today.
So I'll let you go.
Yes, of course. Then, if you are staying outside FCT, you can also go to the state in which you are residing and get the police hotline. Then also we have in FCT, we have the FCT call center number, also which we are also going to scroll before we finish this.
So I think it's time to just have those numbers so that we can start working on scrolling those numbers, because it's quite important. Some of us who have to be at your beck and call. I mean, a lot of people do not have access to you. I'm not saying you're not accessible. I'm just saying that it's been wonderful to know and be abreast with all this information that are often very necessary for citizens of the FCT to have. I have, for one, really enjoyed having this conversation, understanding that there's effective coordination to ensure that the Nigerian or the FCT residents who come from all over the place are indeed protected. And you know that we have several of us. It seems like there's an influx to the FCT. Before we get to reading out these numbers, I'd like to ask, how are you managing the population? It seems every day people are heading to the FCT. Is it me? Or you actually are seeing this exodus, or rather
it's really exodus. That's not the right word, exodus, because the population migrating into the capital city. One good thing about the FCT, in Nigeria, to the FCT is still the safest place, and everybody wants to reside in that place.
Naturally.
And that's what is going on, because the population explosion of FCT is far higher than the expected development. The development, infrastructural development is meant to be in phases, but the population are overwhelming that development. Right. So people cannot just blame the government, and you cannot pursue everybody out of FCT also. So the administration is trying to ensure that they manage whatever is going on. That is why you see the security agencies are working day and night without rest.
Okay. So but before you go further, let's have that number. That's the FCT hotline. Yes,
let's go with the resident engagement platform. That is www.myfcta.gov.ng.
Right.
www.my.my, that's my FCTA.gov.ng.
My FCTA Gov.
Yes, my FCTA.gov.ng. Okay. Now for the FCT call center, one good thing is that in the next few weeks we are going to be having our short code.
Oh,
and that we don't need to start saving all the numbers. It's my FCTA.gov.ng, not my FCTA.gov. www.myfcta.gov.ng. Now that short code is just maybe a phone number that you can cram.
Because we've always had this conversation.
What the reform department is working on seriously, and very soon we are going to be rolling it out. Okay. But before then, we have the toll-free number of the FCT call center, which is 080 22 55 3282.
This is longer than
good. That is what I want to explain to our viewers. It is longer than your normal number.
Okay.
It's more than 11 digits, so it's not a mistake.
Okay.
It's a toll-free number, and it's longer than the 11 digits. Let me call it again: 080
right
00 22 55 3282. That is. For that, then you have the FCT police control room number, which you can also store on your emergency keypad. Is 080 32 00 3913. 080 32 00 3913. Or you can also call 080 61 58 1938. 080 61 58 1938. I also want to encourage us, anywhere you are residing, there is a police division that is in charge of jurisdiction. Walk into that police division, ask for the DPO, get the DPO number, get the DCO number, which is Divisional Crime Officer number. Also get the FCO number, which is Decision Officer number. When you get these three numbers, if there's any activity that is not okay going on around you, you can call either of this number. If you are not even calling the FCT control room number, you can also call them because they are with you there. Interact with the police DPO. Most people are afraid of going into the police station to interact with them.
Police is indeed your friend.
Police is our friend. They are wonderful.
Police should be our friend.
Police is our friend.
Police is our friend.
They are our friends.
That's conversation for another time. We really have run out of time, but let me quickly run through the ways to reach out. The citizen engagement platform is the www.myfcta.gov.ng. That's www.myfcta.gov.ng. We also have the numbers to call: 080-002255-3282. I'll say that again in case you're trying to write it down: 080-002255-3282. Like the good doctor said, it's not a mistake that the digits are more than the 11 we know. So yes, the number will go when you die, but that's only when you have an emergency. The police control number is also 080-3200-3919. 080-3200-3919. We also have 080-6158-1938. I'll take it again: 080-6158-1938. And those are the numbers to call. If you see something, please say something so that we are all safe. Dr. Peter Olumuji, it's always wonderful to have you. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you.
Yes, like I said earlier, he is an urban security strategist and the Secretary Command and Control Center, FCTA. We've had a wonderful time talking about the FCT security, but rest assured we'll be back tomorrow to discuss more and very interesting topics. Have a wonderful, restful evening.